Oh my goodness. Is this real, really? Is life a real thing? Because I don't know. I don't know where to look anymore. I don't know what to believe in. I feel like Neo in the Matrix here, because I know for a couple of weeks now, at the very least, we've talked ad infinitum about the possibility of one Adrian Newey, the GOAT of all things aero and F1 engineering and race engineering and performance engineering back in the day, that the GOAT, being Adrian Newey, might be leaving Red Bull. What are we doing? I don't even know who I am anymore. What's my name? Got to pinch myself out here. NC Paddock GOAT F1 channel. Like, what are we doing? Is this really happening? Now, of course, the genesis story of this was that Adrian Newey was at Bologna a couple of weeks back. And you'll know that since on Instagram it came out that he was testing. He's a bit of a racer. You know that he likes to race bikes. And he was out there at Mugello testing. So that was the excuse. That apparently was the scapegoat. But now we're hearing, as at the 25th of the 4th, 2024, that there might have been fire causing this cycle. Oh my gosh. That potentially Adrian Newey could, as soon as today, announce that he's going to leave Red Bull for Scuderia Ferrari. Holy fudging smoke. Are you kidding me? What, to go and design the car of Sir Lewis Carl Davidson Hamilton and Charles Leclerc? You've got to be... No, somebody's got to be smoking. This is madness. This is chaos. I can't help but get excited. Scorched earth Cameron settings each and every single time here. Are you joking me? Now, listen, I'll say this. Having read his book very recently, sometimes you've got to try and connect the dots for yourself, right? Whilst all this rumour and speculation is rife always in F1, it feels like Adrian Newey, story of that fella moving, it comes like Lewis Hamilton moving to Ferrari once upon a time. Just rumour and speculation, conjecture even, not to be taken seriously, seasonal in its variance. Almost every summer you would hear something similar. But you know, I think this is different. We've been talking about this for a while. And let me tell you why I think it's different. In his book, How to Build a Car, he talks extensively about a couple of different things. And this is where it gets techie. First, leaving teams at the right time. He left March when they were about to go bankrupt and fall on hard financial times. That's your first one. Second one, he doesn't like internal politics. He could never be asked with Sir Frank Williams, and when he was in breach of Adrian Newey's contract. The reason why he left Williams, in fact, was because he needed to be told, per his contract, of any driver changes. His guy was Damon Hill. He race and performance engineered him. And when Frank Williams said on the back of a very poor Damon Hill season in 1995 that he was going to sign Heinz-Harald Frentzen to sit alongside Jacques Villeneuve, and there was no longer going to be a seat at Williams for one Damon Hill. When they agreed that, both Sir Frank Williams and Patrick Head, without telling Adrian Newey, this is what Adrian Newey did. You know what, chaps? I'm out. Here was my contract, and you did something that was in breach. I didn't have many demands, said Adrian. Just adhere to these. They were in breach, and Adrian Newey did one of these. I'm out. I'm out, guys. You've breached contract. I'm going somewhere else. So Adrian Newey, just like Sir Lewis Hamilton, has a history of doing these things. Every once in a while, he wants a new challenge, especially on the back of a change in circumstance. Take each and every single one of those to the bank. This is who you're dealing with in Adrian Newey as at 2024, the god tier aerodynamicist who's responsible for the most dominant car that we've seen in recent F1 history, the RB20. That's who you're dealing with. And in the book, again, if we're going to talk parallels, Bologna, okay, so that's what they said he was doing in Bologna. That he was testing, he was doing a bit of racing, biking or whatever at Mugello, yeah, of course. But then in the book, if you check it out, this isn't the first time he's had discussions with Ferrari. And if you check out the details in the book, the minutiae and read between the lines. Where did he have, Adrian Newey, discussions with Ferrari on those previous occasions? Bologna. Where was it the other day? Bologna. You guys connect the dots. The prosecution rests. Not just yet. Let's see, Paddock, you're far too generous, sir. I'm going to get to those, but I need to read out this article. Listen, we've talked on a number of different occasions before, haven't we? About all journalism being created equally, but some journalistic publications and articles are created more equal than others. That's the truth, and you can take that to the bank. Auto Motor und Sport. I get confused in my German accent trying to wing it. AMUS is a god tier level publication online. German. Don't mess about with the truth. Likewise with Michael Schmidt. Again, doesn't like to be at liberty as far as his journalistic integrity. Always or never even a million miles away from the truth. So let's check out what he's got to say. As at 250424, is Ferrari the next address for one Adrian? I can't believe that I'm reading this out, you know. This is bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. NC Paddock on commentary, I promise. Will the next bombshell in F1 explode today? Today, potentially in the next few hours. Holy smoke. Adrian Newey is said to be on the move from Red Bull, but what is the star designer's next address? Next destination? Lost in translation. Experts predict Ferrari. Oh my goodness. Is this the next bombshell on F1 transfer market? After Lewis Hamilton to Ferrari, the focus is now on star designer Adrian Newey. The 65-year-old Englishman is expected to announce his departure from Red Bull soon. Newey had been employed by the British racing team since 2006. Oh my gosh, I will read that again for the avoidance of that. This is chaos. The focus is now on star designer Adrian Newey. The 65-year-old Englishman is expected to announce his departure from Red Bull soon. Oh my goodness. This Christian Horner scandal is material now. If that has led to this, that's chaos. The MVP of all things F1 in the ground effect era. I mean, just write that dude. Give that dude a check and allow him to write his own number. Newey. AMUS continues. He's said to be unhappy about the power struggle in the team and does not want to be completely pushed into the RB17 hypercar project that he's currently working on part-time. The thoroughbred engineer's heart still lies in Formula One, even though Newey is no longer designing every screw of every car on his beloved drawing board. He's still the brilliant mind behind the concept of the British racing team's 7th World Championship. This is chaos. Will Newey be as free as early 2025? And here's where it gets techie, because I've said, you guys have heard me say, for the avoidance of doubt, that Newey wouldn't be allowed to leave before 2026. However, you guys know what time it is in F1, that contracts are movable entities, right? Money is the answer and the root to all evil. Of course, you can be bought out of a contract for a price. Mate, it's happened before and it will happen again. It is still questionable when you can leave Red Bull. His contract officially runs to the end of 2025. Then the Red Bull RB17 should also be on wheels. The first sales discussion have already been held with potential customers of the super sports car. According to rumours, Newey wants to be free for new tasks by the end of 2024. Oh my gosh! But what if it isn't Ferrari? You know what, NC Paddock, we'll get onto that, sir. NC Paddock F1 God tier F1 channel. Thank you so far to you, God. What if it's Aston? Yeah, and people are talking about Aston and Alonso and the financial behemoth behind both of those being Aramco, right? That they're prepared to write Adrian Newey a check, however many zeros it has on it. And this is where it gets chaotic, right? Because everybody knows by now the value of the MVP that is Adrian Newey after, or maybe even before, Max Verstappen in terms of first order priority. Holy smoke, this is tricky. What if it's Toto Wolff? What if all this time the Max Verstappen chat has been just a cheeky distraction? whilst Toto Wolff trains his focus on Adrian Newey. I was thinking that earlier this morning. It might be that. Oh my God, I'm excited. Newey wants to be free for 2024. The mastermind is as sought after on the market as the best drivers in the scene. Oof. Is that what Toto Wolff was referring to the other day? That engineers are more important than drivers? Oh, I just can't cope. It's too much. The rumours about Adrian Newey's departure are not new. That's why the competition has already tried to recruit the man who designed World Championship cars for Williams, McLaren, Red Bull. Experts seem at Ferrari. Newey was spotted at least once at Bologna Airport. If that turns out to be true, then Frederick Vasseur would have welded together a super team with Hamilton, Leclerc and Adrian Newey. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. Mercedes on this are keeping a low profile. Aston Martin was also involved with Newey in negotiation. This would have the advantage for the Englishman that he could continue to work in England. However, the technology guru has long since found a second home in South Africa and has already worked partially remotely at Red Bull. Mercedes has always kept a low profile on the subject of Newey. The former series world champion could really use somebody like Newey. No kidding, Sherlock. Nobody understands this ground effect as well as he does, and it is precisely this understanding, writes AMUS, that seems to have been lost in the design office at Brackley and Brixworth. Holy smoke. I don't know what to say on this. This is bonkers. Newey could also be the crucial piece of the puzzle to lure Max Verstappen to the Silver Arrows. Toto Wolff has been hesitant so far. There is also a fear that such an icon would bring unrest into one's own team. Behave yourself. I mean, there's more important things, right? Either way, Newey shares would not pay dividends. I love the way they've put that, by the way, that Newey shares will not pay dividends until 2026 season at the earliest, because of course you'd have to go on gardening leave. But this is exactly a crucial year. The new engine regulations also require completely new cars, and Newey has proven many times that this competence and expertise always pays off in years when everybody has to start from scratch. Let's go AMUS. I will say yet again, for the avoidance of doubt, that was all journalistic publications are made equal, some are made more equal than others. And AMUS is one of those, right? God tier levels of reliability. If they report it, then you can assume that if it hasn't happened already, then it's very close to. NC Paddock, you're a legend. But what if it isn't Ferrari? What if it's Aston? Hints why Alonso chose to re-sign, and Lewis potentially too at Ferrari. What if the master's plan was to snatch him in the... Oh my gosh, NC Paddock. Mate, the conjecture and speculation is too much for me, you know. I enjoy it, I do love it, but sometimes it gives me heart palpitations. Well, if Max wasn't going to leave with this, Horner better be prepared for the exit clause. Just had to ruin a good thing, didn't you, Christian? Oh, NC Paddock, it's looking like it. And again, when you look at Adrian Newey, when you read his book, you understand that he's quite... I mean, he does crazy stuff sometimes, right? Does donuts in Christian Horner's front yard. He's a bit of a wild child at heart, but on the whole, you need to leave him alone. As a racing man and as a designer, you want to just let him alone. Leave him to go at it, right? Don't burden him with all this political wrangling and infighting. And Christian Horner wants to leverage British financiers to potentially spin off the F1. Every time he's seen that coming in his career, whether that's March, Leighton, House, Williams, he's left and gone somewhere. Even at IndyCar, he's left and he's gone to pastures new, because he can't be bothered with that. Ultimately, he's a simple man with a brilliant mind, and he just wants to design the best F1 cars possible. Leave him to that. And sadly, this is the first time when Christian Horner, sadly for Red Bull and Max Verstappen, this is the first time when Christian Horner's dropped the managerial ball as far as Adrian Newey. And that may or may not have opened the door. And let me leave you with this for the avoidance of doubt. The beauty of Adrian Newey's design is that he builds in durable competitive advantage right to the chassis, to the very fibre of his cars. Read the book, How to Build a Car, and you will feel this. It permeates throughout every single word. He talks ad infinitum about aerodynamic efficiency, about drag to downforce ratio. He's not an engine merchant like Mercedes were 2013, 14 through to early 2020s. He's all about efficiency and setting up the car in a way that's malleable and adaptable, reducing the aerodynamic sensitivity even dependent on ride heights and other circumstances. These are lessons that he's learned in his experience 1994 with Senna, FW14, etc, etc. This fella is God tier, and if you can get him in your team, then that's baked in durable competitive advantage going into the new rule and reg set in 2026. If Ferrari can get it, if Ferrari can get that over the line, if they manage for him to sign on the dotted line, mate, that's absolutely chaos. Massive paradigm shift in the weird and wacky world that is F1. Now, if I were a betting man, what probability would I put in it? I don't know if AMUS are reporting it higher than 50%. Are we going 60 or 70? Potentially. He was in Bologna the other day. And again, they said on Instagram that he was just in Bologna testing. In the book, when he had conversations, which ultimately didn't come to anything, but when he had conversations with Ferrari previously, where was he? Where did he cite in the book? Bologna. That's exactly where he was. Don't let anybody tell you any different. Adrian Newey to Ferrari, I would love to see it happen. I'm going to be honest with you. Whether it will or not, who the fudge knows. I tell you what though, Lewis Hamilton will be absolutely praying for it. Adrian, South Africa is closer to Italy than the UK. Oh my gosh, Adrian, look at that. I didn't even realise. Transporter, he's all about making natural speed very succinctly and eloquently put. Jomo, I love hearing the exit. Oh, Jomo, I can't even hide it, mate. Pathetic fallacy. I'm key. I just want it to happen. Alexander, what did Alex say very quickly? RB don't need Newey. Behave yourself, Alex. That's an oxymoron. Which team in F1 doesn't need Adrian Newey? Oh, wait. There are none. Every single team needs Adrian Newey. There's not a more prolific technical mind in F1. What's he on now? 12 constructors and 13 drivers championships that he's won. There's a stat in his book where he talks about between the years of 1992 and 2013 that between he and Red Brawn, they won every single championship barring 4. Take that to the bank. That tells you where Ross Brawn is too, but Adrian has just dominated this thing, and I think, for the avoidance of doubt, that he will continue to dominate. But I digress. It will be interesting, and I am. Listen, can you imagine? We'll be back later on, man. I need to keep talking about this. Imagine if they announce it between now and the next time we speak. Oh my goodness! I'll be back later on. I want to have a conversation about a Nico Rosberg interview and how that parlays to what Toto Wolff should or shouldn't be doing, because it's going to get techie. It is going to get techie. But before then, between now and then, the prosecution rests. No further questions, Your Honour.